Norway is a Scandinavian country of mountains, glaciers, and deep coastal fjords. Oslo, the capital, is a city of green spaces and museums. Preserved 9th century Viking ships are displayed at Oslo's Viking Ship Museum. Bergen has colorful wooden houses along the shore. Norway is also known for fishing, hiking, and skiing, notably at Lillehammer's Olympic Resort. Go north in the winter months to try to catch a sight of the Northern Lights. Norway is a country of Northern Europe that occupies the western half of the Scandinavian peninsula. Nearly half of the people of the country live in the far south, in the region around Oslo, the capital. About 2/3 of Norway is mountains, and off its coastline, carved deeply by glacial fjords, are about 50,000 islands. The Norwegian Sea and the North Sea surround this country. This Viking explorer was named Eric the Red, mostly because of his red beard and hair, but perhaps also because of his fiery temper. It is said that he was a hot-headed fellow who, after being exiled from Norway and later Iceland, finally settled in Greenland. Eric the Red is the first Viking to discover Greenland, and is credited for giving the country its name Greenland. His son Leif Erikson is credited in history as the first European to set foot in North America, nearly 400 years before Columbus. Harald V is King of Norway. He succeeded to the throne in 1991. Since the introduction of the Parliament in 1884, the official duties of the king have been primarily ceremonial, to keep royal tradition. Well, the language of the Constitution still states that the power is vested in the king. The actual power lies with the government. The royal palace is in Oslo. Marit Bjørgen is easily one of the most famous Norwegian women out there. As a well-known Norwegian cross-country skier, she is the most decorated winter Olympian in history, with 15 Olympic medals. Ole Bjørndalen is a famous Norwegian biathlete and is the second most decorated winter Olympian in history, with 13 Olympic medals. Henrik Ibsen was a Norwegian playwright and theater director. As one of the founders of modernism and theater, Ibsen is often referred to as the father of realism and one of the most famous playwrights of all time. In 1876, he published Peer Gynt, a 5-act play in verse, written in Norwegian. It is one of the most widely performed Norwegian plays. It is a fairy tale about Norwegian culture, folklore, and local legend. Edvard Grieg composed original music for Peer Gynt that includes some of today's most recognized classical pieces, In the Hall of the Mountain King and Morning Mood. Grieg was a Norwegian composer and pianist. He is widely considered one of the leading Romantic-era composers, and his music is part of the classical standard worldwide. Edvard Munch was a Norwegian painter. His childhood was overshadowed by illness, sadness, and the dread of inheriting a medical condition that ran in the family. His best-known work, The Scream, has become one of Western art's most iconic images. According to Munch, he was walking at sunset when he heard the enormous infinity scream of nature. Although his works were banned in Nazi-occupied Europe, most of them survived World War II, securing him a legacy. Roald Dahl was a British-born to Norwegian immigrant parents. He was a novelist, short story writer, poet, screenwriter, and wartime fighter ace. His books have sold more than 250 million copies worldwide. Dahl has been called one of the greatest storytellers for children of the 20th century. His writings include Matilda, The BFG, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. This concludes my list of notable Norwegians. Will you visit Norway? Enjoy a traditional Norwegian dessert, krumkake.